Hey everyone, today we're diving into the incredible origin story behind one of the most visited holy sites in the entire world, the Tirumala Temple. It is an amazing story, full of gods, love, sacrifice, and it all starts with a single divine test that literally changed destiny.
So, what is the real story behind this sacred place? How did a deity end up on these 7 hills, drawing millions and millions of people? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to answer.
Okay, let's get right into it. Our story kicks off not with the temple, but with a divine challenge. See, a group of ancient sages wanted to perform a huge ritual, but first they had a pretty big problem to solve. Who was the most supreme among all the gods?
And at the center of this whole debate were the Trimurti, the 3 great cosmic powers you see here. You've got Brahma the creator, Shiva the destroyer, and Vishnu the preserver. The sages had to figure out which of these fundamental forces was the most worthy of their offerings.
So the job falls to this one particular sage, Brigu, and he sets off on a truly wild mission. As you can see, his first 2 stops, they don't go so well. Brahma completely ignores him, and Shiva just erupts with rage. But his final test, the one for Vishnu, was the boldest and most shocking of them all. And this is the moment that changes everything. When Sage Brigu kicks Vishnu right in the chest, there's no anger, no retaliation. Instead, Vishnu calmly apologizes to the sage, worried that his hard chest might have hurt the sage's foot. I mean, can you imagine? In that single act of incredible grace, Brigu knew Vishnu was the greatest of them all. But you know how these stories go. Vishnu's victory in that test came at a huge, huge cost. That one kickstarted a chain reaction that nobody saw coming. See, here's the crucial detail Brigu missed. Vishnu's chest is the sacred home of his consort, the goddess Lakshmi. So for her, this wasn't just some insult to Vishnu. It was a direct violation of her sacred space, her very being. So, feeling totally dishonored and frankly furious that Vishnu just accepted the insult, Lakshmi Devi leaves. She abandons the divine realm of Vaikuntha and comes down to earth. And with that, our whole epic story is set in motion. Vishnu is just completely heartbroken. He can't stand the thought of being in Vaikuntha without her. So what does he do? He follows her down to the mortal world, but he takes on a totally new identity. And this kicks off a long, lonely quest. He's now in the human form of Srinivasa, and he just roams the earth, searching everywhere for any sign of Lakshmi. He finally finds a bit of peace on the quiet Tirumala hills, and he settles there, spending his days in deep meditation. For a long, long time, Srinivasa just lives this quiet, ascetic life. But then, destiny takes a really sharp turn when he crosses paths with a beautiful princess in the forest. This princess was Padmavati. And in a wild twist of fate, she was actually believed to be an earthly incarnation of Lakshmi herself. Srinivasa is immediately captivated, and he asks the king for her hand in marriage, which the king, after some hesitation, finally agrees to. But there was one big problem. As an ascetic, Srinivasa had 0 money for a royal wedding, so he takes this absolutely massive loan from Kubera, the treasurer of the gods, and he makes a promise. He'll pay all back by the end of this cosmic age, the Kali Yuga. So, the celestial wedding happens, and it's celebrated with incredible fanfare. But just when it seems like everything is finally settled, the past comes roaring back. Word gets back to the original Lakshmi that Srinivasa has married someone else, so she travels straight to the Tirumala Hills to confront him, demanding to know how he could possibly marry another woman while she was gone. Talk about an impossible situation. Srinivasa is literally frozen, caught between Lakshmi, the great love he had lost, and Padmavati, the new love he had found. He's trapped between 2 sides of the same divine coin, and both are demanding his complete devotion. Faced with this absolutely heart-wrenching conflict, and knowing he could never choose between them, Srinivasa makes a radical decision to stay there forever, for both of them and for all the devotees who would one day come. He transforms himself into a granite idol, becoming a permanent fixture on that hill. Seeing this, the goddesses, in their own grief and boundless love, also turn to stone to stay by his side forever. But this divine moment wasn't an end. In fact, it was the beginning of a whole new chapter, where mythologies start to become history.
And this is how the temple we know today began its journey. It started with that single, self-formed idol. Then, Padmavati's father, King Akasaraja, built the very first shrine around it. And from there, over hundreds and hundreds of years, kings and dynasties just kept adding to it, building it into the massive, incredible complex it is today. And that's why the Lord who resides there is known by so many names. He's called Srinivasa, the Wanderer, Venkateswara, which means the Lord of the Venkata Hill, Govinda, the Protector, and Balaji, a name he's lovingly called in the north. Each name is really a different chapter of this rich, epic story.
Which really leaves us with this one last thought. The enduring, immense power of Tirumala seems to come from this amazing fusion of a deeply human story, full of love and sacrifice and heartbreak, and a very real historical place you can actually visit. It's a legend that feels alive, reminding millions of devotees that the monumental loan taken for that divine wedding, well, it's still being repaid one offering at a time.